Ant-Man and the Wasp is going to be the first movie launching Phase 5, and it's going to introduce Kang, the actual Kang the Conqueror variant personality, the real Kang. If you watch the Loki series, it introduced a variant of Kang. That wasn't the real Kang. That was He Who Remains, who's just an alternate variant of the character. He's not really the Kang that we know. Kang is like, the real deal, the proper, like, psycho, very dangerous character. And if you don't know who Kang is, man, he's so overpowered. He's like the most dangerous threat. He's an even bigger threat than Thanos. His powers include time manipulation, so he doesn't really need to fight and kill you by like punching you really hard or anything like that. He can just wave his hand and eliminate you from the time stream, wish you out of existence. And he's from the far future, the end of time, so he's got advanced technology that anyone's technology pales in comparison. He's got all type of technology that can just displace you, send you to another universe, just basically erase you from existence with a flick of his fingers. And he knows it all because he sees it all. He's got a way to perceive time, the time stream, multiple timeline, just all in general, the manipulation of time. So he's going to be like the next big bad, the next Thanos level Avengers villain. So yeah, that's definitely he's going to be introduced, and you'll get to see why he's so dangerous and why he's so powerful. Then we got the Secret Invasion. I think this may be a TV series, might be a movie. I'm pretty sure it'll be a series. I'm not 100% sure. But this is basically the Skrull are coming back into the fold. They've inhabited Earth for a while now. They've been posing as key characters in the MCU, pretending to be basically some of our favorite characters. So we won't even know until the Secret Invasion. Some of our favorite characters may be masquerading as secretly Skrulls. And in Captain Marvel, the Skrulls are sort of sympathetic villains. But the Secret Invasion may switch things up. They've been on the planet for decades now. They might have evil intentions. It's a very big comic book adaptation. In the comics, they take over the Earth and they pose as some of the Avengers. And they pose as several key important figures in Earth society. So the Skrull are the green lizard creatures that can shapeshift into any human. So they can shapeshift into any Avenger. They could be imposters pretending to be any of our favorite characters. So it's going to lead into a lot of shenanigans, and we don't know if they're going to be doing a lot of evil stuff, spying, gathering intel. And Nick Fury will be coming back in this series, so very excited for that. So Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be the end of the Guardians franchise, or so the director says anyway. So that doesn't necessarily mean all the characters are going to die, but it's just the conclusion of the story of Star-Lord and the Guardians. And basically, the synopsis of this one is we're going to find out where Rocket Raccoon comes from, his origin story. And it's going to focus around Rocket and the Guardians, and it's going to focus on trying to find the Gamora, the one who's alive, not the one he died, who he fell in love with. So he's going to be trying to find her. And the main bad in this one is the High Evolutionary. He's basically a super advanced intelligent scientist who experiments on lower life forms. So he's the one who found Rocket Raccoon as a little raccoon, did genetic experiments on the life form, and basically made it more intelligent and smart and able to wield weapons. So that's what he does. His whole thing, he experiments on lesser life forms to basically for his own purposes, So he's probably got his own private army that the Guardians are going to have to face at some point. And we'll also be introduced to Adam Warlock, who's part of the race of the Golden People in the previous Guardians movie. He's the ultimate super soldier. He's the perfect warrior. And he's going to be in this movie, and he's going to be hunting down the Guardians of the Galaxy, trying to destroy them. And he basically has the powers of a god. He pretty much has godlike powers, mind control, mental manipulation, telekinesis, super strength. He's strong enough to face Thanos. Let's just say that. So he can fight along the likes of Thanos and Thor and pose a threat to them. So he's going to be trying to get the Guardians of the Galaxy. And in summer 2023, Echo series is coming on Disney Plus. So the Kingpin is coming back, even though he was killed, supposedly shot in the head and killed by the Echo character. He's coming back, and Daredevil will be making an appearance as well. So it's going to focus around Echo, the character who's deaf, the disabled chick who's deaf with one leg. So following her exploits. Don't know the story, but it's going to focus around her. And Kingpin will probably be trying to kill her and get revenge for her shooting him. So that's coming up summer 2023. And then Loki season 2, Disney Plus. Again, coming out around summer 2023. So in Loki season 2, Kang has arrived. Kang has been released into the time stream. He's probably going to be running around with the TVA, trying to stop all the havoc that Kang has unleashed on the timeline, as well as trying to find Sylvie, who is his love interest, his alternate variant, female variant of himself. So in this one, anything can go. More time manipulation shenanigans. Can't wait. This is going to be a good one for sure. And it will give us more insight into the Kang character, perhaps a little more backstory. So the Marvels will be coming. So next is the Marvels, which will be coming out on July 28th to 2023. Sometime at the end of 2023, we got Ironheart miniseries that will be coming out. And there's speculation that her armor is going to be made from vibranium, and she's going to be working alongside the Wakandans. So it's going to be a miniseries, I guess, showing her origin story and the creation of a suit. So I'm looking forward to seeing how she's going to be different to Iron Man, because in the comics, she pretty much looks very identical to Iron Man, slightly a little bit different, but just like in a female armor. But in this one, I think they're going to try and make her look a little bit more different, but maintain the spirit of the character. Remember 2023, we got Blade, Mahershala Ali making his debut as Blade. Can't wait for this one. This was one of my most hyped projects. So this will probably introduce vampires as a real credible threat into the MCU, and introduce the whole new. And this will probably introduce us to the supernatural aspects of the MCU. We haven't really seen too much supernatural side of things. We've seen the magical side with Doctor Strange, the cosmic side with Thor and the Guardians, but this is gonna probably introduce us to, like, you know, the supernatural side, the ancient monsters and vampires and vampire creeds and all those type of monsters. We might even see other type of creatures besides vampires. So Blade will be introducing us to that, and I cannot wait to see Mahershala Ali as Blade. And in winter 2023, we got Agatha series, Coven of Chaos. So this again will be taking us into the more magical side of the MCU, the sorcery, the chaos magic. And so this will be introducing us to the origin story of Agatha and her long periods of, it's probably going to take us back in time, you know, into more interesting times when there was, like, you know, the Salem witch trials, when they used to burn women for being witches, you know, back in the days when women would just cook up 2 herbs together and they were accused them of being a witch. So it will be interesting to see why in those times they treated people with some sort of supernatural ability as witches, and, you know, killing them and chasing after them. So Agatha could be, like, you know, a product of those Salem witch trials, where her family was hunted down and they gave themselves to the dark arts to try and protect themselves. But we'll definitely get to see more supernatural aspects of the MCU. Will be very interesting. X-Men 97 is coming out on an unknown date in 2023, which is meant to be a sequel to the animated series, which was amazing, by the way. Like, it was just amazing in so many ways. So they're changing the aesthetics a bit, but it's just making a comeback, making a reboot. And also Magneto will be in charge of the X-Men, which is kind of a different take, because he's normally in charge of the Brotherhood of Mutants. So it'll be very interesting. I personally have seen, like, the stills of Magneto. I'm not a fan of the costume. He's got the gloves that reach up to his biceps. Those gloves are too long, so not a fan of those of that redesign, but we'll see when it comes out. And then we got Captain America New World Order coming out in May 3rd, 2024. Sam Wilson will be doing his own thing, getting his very first Captain America movie. So we'll probably get a return of the Winter Soldier as well. He probably might. Bucky might make an appearance, and also Baron Zemo, he might make an appearance too. But definitely the US agent, he's definitely going to make an appearance. He's the super soldier from the series who was pretending to be Captain America, but he's evil. And he's got a psychotic streak within him, and he uses guns. So yeah, can't wait for this one. Yeah. And then in 2024 spring, Daredevil Born Again is coming out, and apparently it's going to be 18 episodes. So all these Daredevil fans, man, you're getting great treatment. The original Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio, is coming back, as well as Charlie Cox, Daredevil character, is coming back. So all you people, Marvel heard your prayers. Charlie Cox is back. And finishing off the Phase 5 movies, the Thunderbolts, coming out in July 26, 2024. So the Thunderbolts are headed by General Thunderbolt Ross. He's usually the leader, and he's also the Red Hulk in the comics. And he leads a team of, like, I'll say misfit villains / anti-heroes. They usually comprise of villains / anti-heroes, like Baron Zemo, Taskmaster, the Red Hulk. Characters who aren't, who are evil, or perhaps kind of like on the anti-hero side of the game, but they're not technically like good guy heroes. US Agent is another candidate, and it's basically Marvel's Suicide Squad. And we don't know what they're going to be doing, but they'll probably be taking on, like, a series of high-risk missions, or they might even be fighting heroes. You never know. But, like, you know, US Agent, Baron Zemo, Taskmaster, Red Hulk, or, you know, General Thunderbolt Ross, they will be coming back, leading in this series. And I'm sure they're writing up scripts in the story right now, but in the comics they often go on missions to try and get heroes' ways, or sometimes they help heroes but they have ulterior motives, but it's usually teams of villains though, so it will be very interesting. And Marvel gave us a brief glimpse of Phase 6, which will be starting off with Fantastic Four, which will be released in November 8th, 2024, and we all know who the Fantastic Four are, but if you don't know and you're watching this video for the first time, they're just a family of scientists who go up into space, and they're bathed in cosmic radiation on their trip to space, investigating an unknown region of space and doing some experiments in space, which these experiments go wrong. They get hit with a cosmic storm, and this cosmic storm changes all four of them and gives them otherworldly powers. The Human Torch can set himself on fire, Mr. Fantastic can stretch his body to unknown limits, Invisible Girl, she can turn herself invisible and generate force fields around her, and Ben Grimm, who's Reed Richards' best friend, Mr. Fantastic's best friend, is given super strength and super durability, but at the cost, it makes him look like a rock creature, like a hideous rock monster. That's the downside of it, and is the butt of many jokes. But unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably seen these guys somewhere, But yeah, the first family, the Fantastic Four, there's two movies that are going to conclude the end of Marvel Phase 6, which has me very, very, very excited. So, like I was saying before, Kang is an Avengers level multiversal threat. He's even a bigger threat than Thanos. Thanos threatened one world, one universe. Kang threatens them all. Kang is getting the Thanos treatment, so Avengers Kang Dynasty is basically like Avengers Infinity War. But it's definitely not going to be the last time we'll see Kang. But the Avengers will finally get to face Kang at full strength, one versus many. Let's just say, I was going to say one-on-one, but it won't be one-on-one, it'll be one versus many. Kang versus all of them. They'll first time get to see the threat that it is, because he will be appearing individually in different properties against the heroes individually, but in Avengers Kang Dynasty they will team up and finally recognize him for the threat that it is and attempt to take him down. And finally, the conclusion of the Phase 6 movie will be Secret Wars, November 7th, 2025. And this is one of the most insane stories in the comics. Basically, it's all-out war in the multiverse. Everyone versus everyone. This is like the Avengers Endgame times 1,000. Literally, everyone from different timelines and multiverses fighting for survival. The main villain will probably be Kang as well. So Kang will most likely be responsible for setting this up, and some speculate that Doctor Doom will make his appearance in this, which makes sense since Fantastic Four might introduce Doctor Doom. So Doctor Doom, Kang will probably both appear in this, and it's all-out war in the MCU. There's probably going to be a lot of deaths, a lot of destruction. Basically, the all-powerful being sets up a battle world where all villains and heroes have to fight each other for survival. So I imagine each timeline, each universe will have to fight for their own existence, and if they don't, who knows, maybe Kang will eliminate it from the timeline permanently, so they have to fight for survival. So you got people in the comics fighting each other, like different variants of Thor's fighting each other, Iron Man fighting himself, Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom. Everyone is just fighting for survival, and it's chaos on the screen. And I can't wait to see how they film this, and I can't wait to see the footage, and I can't wait to see how Phase 6 ends. It's definitely very exciting times. So how are you guys feeling about these projects coming out, these movies? Definitely hyped for some of them, maybe not all of them, but for most of them I'm definitely looking forward to. Definitely very interesting time to be an MCU fan. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments, like and subscribe. See you next video.